Hi everyone, it's Megan Daner at the Art of Education University. I am really crossing my fingers for this live because we tried to have this conversation a couple weeks ago before Thanksgiving, and with Victoria Fry from Visionary Arts had bad connection. So I just accepted her request to join, and hopefully everyone cross your fingers, we can, yay! Yay! Oh, what a relief.
Oh, I hope it works today.
I know. The Instagram gods were just not on our side last time, but I think we're good this time. So I'm so glad that we are all set to go. So I'll go ahead and get started. If you're just joining, hi guys, my name is Megan Daner. I am the senior editor of the magazine at the Art of Education University, and I also help with some Flex content. And I'm so thrilled to host a chat today with Victoria Fry from Visionary Art Collective. I got her looped in. She actually applied for something at AOEU, and I was like, this girl is cool. I want to talk to her. So I've been following her for a while now, and I'm just so excited to have her tell us about what she's been up to with her collective space she started. So we'll go with some little questions, and I'm really excited to get the conversation started. So Victoria, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll throw a couple questions at you.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Megan. I am so excited. I was so thrilled when you reached out to me. I'm a huge fan of the Art of Education. I'm always on the website watching videos and thinking about how I can incorporate them into my practice as a teacher. So I'm really excited to be here today, and thank you all for joining. So I'm Victoria. I'm the founder of Visionary Art Collective. I'm also a full-time art educator. I work with high school students at the moment. And I launched Visionary Art Collective earlier this year, actually in the summer, which is crazy because I feel like it's been around.
Really? Well, and it's awesome.
Yes, it's actually grown really rapidly, far more than I had expected when I launched. But it was really born out of a desire to connect contemporary art with education, which really are my two passions. And I had kind of noticed as an art educator that there was a lot of resources around contemporary art, specifically when it came to teaching about women artists, Black artists, artists of color. And so I ended up just sort of, I'm sure as many art teachers do, kind of inventing my own lessons, doing my own research, but kind of longing for a place. I remember saying last year, I wish there was a website or a place online where all of this was just, in one place. And that's really what I'm hoping to create with Visionary Art Collective. So we have a few different branches, but our overarching goal is to really inspire and encourage art educators to bring contemporary art into the classroom and teach about artists who are living and working today.
Awesome. So the journey really was because you had a problem, right? And you tried to fix it.
Yeah, for sure. And also I just, like many art educators or specialist teachers, you feel like you're on your own island a little bit. And so in addition to wanting resources, I really just wanted a sense of community with other art educators. And that's one thing we are really working to create at Visionary Art Collective right now. And we're doing that in a few different ways. We actually just started, we have teamed up with the Teaching Artists podcast with Rebecca Potts. She's the founder of that. And we are hosting calls for our Art Educators Lounge. And it's been amazing because we found from just interacting and engaging with our followers that so many art educators and artists are longing for a sense of community, especially in 2020 when we are all isolated. So that's another really big goal and part of our mission as well.
That's awesome. And as you have started really fulfilling not only an exhibition space, but a discussion space, education space, what has been a big surprise to you?
The biggest surprise to me has just been the engagement and the interest. And I mean, I can't even put it into words. Like, since the day that I launched, which was actually on June 30th of this year, I have received so many, like probably hundreds of emails, messages, comments, likes, follows, just so much from artists, teachers, teaching artists, And it's been incredible because it's really shown me that there is a need for this and there is a place for this. And, you know, I think fostering this sense of community has been really rewarding for me because I feel like I kind of found my people now, and it's been incredible.
That's awesome. Well, I think 2020 has been a surprise for everyone in lots of different capacities, but I think a surprise is that there are so many silver linings in places no one expected.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Visionary Art Collective sort of was obviously one of those. So you have featured a ton of artists on this space, and I have a hard time. Every time I see a post, I'm like, ooh, I like that. Or like, oh, I got to start following that person. Or, oh, wow. Like, I wonder where else they're exhibited. And so I find myself going down really good rabbit holes, following the people that you posted. So knowing that you've seen everything, is there an artist that you wish you could display in your own house or space that you really started to like be a fangirl for?
There's so many. Like I can't even. I do have a few in mind, one in particular, but I mean, pretty much everything that I post is an artwork that I would dream of having in my home. There's an artist. She's from the Bay Area. Her name is Ana Valdez.
Okay.
He does mostly still life painting, but they are so cool and contemporary and fresh and vibrant and colorful. They're so beautiful. And I have actually been following her for probably 6 years. So she's probably, if I could have any piece by any artist, having one of her paintings in my home would be like an absolute dream.
And I'm sure like after you start following one artist, then you see what that influence is in a Valdez, and then it just starts a really positive ripple effect. And so I know that supporting artists is a huge part of Visionary Art Collective, but you're an art teacher, and that's where a passion of yours lies. So how do art teachers really fall into the Visionary Art Collective? You mentioned a Zoom call, but where else can art educators find their home?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are really working to build up the educational branch right now. That's sort of my biggest goals because we rolled out the online exhibits, which have been really successful. And we've rolled out sort of different facets of the website. And so my focus right now is really on building up this educational branch. Every week we feature either a new artist or art educator. And so we highlight a different artist or teaching artist. And we write a little bit about their work. We feature images of their work. We also talk a little bit about their teaching style and their teaching philosophy and their experience. And then we just opened a couple of weeks ago a new section on our website called Art Educator Q&A. And so throughout every month, we feature a different educator specifically focused on chatting with them about their teaching philosophy and how they're bringing contemporary art into the classroom. So that's pretty new, and we're going to continue to showcase more artists in that section. And then we have a Facebook group, the Art Educators Lounge, which is growing rapidly, and it's amazing. It's connected me with so many artists and teachers all over the country. And it's just a casual place for us to check in throughout the week and talk about, how we're doing in terms of online teaching. That's been a big topic recently, and kind of ideas off each other. Sometimes it's a place to just vent, and sometimes it's a place to just, support and inspire each other. And actually, the Art Educators Lounge Facebook group is what kind of gave me the idea to take it to the next level and turn it into a monthly Zoom meeting. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how many Zoom meetings have you had, and how many do you have planned? Or is it going to be like weekly?
It's going to be every month, and it might even be more. I'm working with Rebecca from the Teaching Artists podcast. We might even do 2 a month. We're kind of in the planning process right now, but we had our first call 2 weeks ago, and it went really well. It was amazing to actually meet these art teachers, many of which are in the Facebook group, and just chat with them. And it was so interesting because when we asked them, how can we support you? What resources do you really need right now? everyone just said community. Like, we just need a sense of community. And so we realized, like, we need to keep doing this. This is really important. And there is a need for this and a place for this. So we are going to continue to do these calls every month. Like I said, maybe even twice a month. We might even bring in speakers. So 2021 will hopefully have, a lot more information, but yeah, the first call went great. So we're excited.
Well, it sounds like Visionary Art Collective is not just collective. It really could be synonymous with community.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I didn't realize how much I was longing for that sense of community. I think, like many of us, when I realized, like, we need to really, find our people and support each other, and kind of inspire each other through this hard time.
Absolutely. And I think art teachers were used to being an island, like autonomous, like I can do this. But COVID added another layer of, yes, I can do this, but it sure would be nice to reach out with a community. So that's awesome. So thinking about your journey since summer, as you created this collective and how it's growing, and your 2020 kind of closing out, looking into the horizon, and then looking at 2021, what's inspiring you right now?
Oh my gosh. I think this is the most inspired truly that I have felt in such a long time. We just presented our second online exhibit, Contemporary Portraiture, Redefining the Figure, on the Visionary Art Collective website. And looking at the work, the submissions, the selected artists for this particular exhibit, I actually decided I'm going to try portraiture for a bit, which I haven't done in over 10 years, but it's inspiring me on like a personal artistic level, because I'm seeing this work that is just so incredible. It's giving me so much motivation to get back in the studio. And I think, like, one thing we talk about a lot in, the Facebook group, or one thing we spoke about a little bit in our Zoom call as well, is finding the balance when you're an art teacher, because teaching requires so much energy. And obviously, creating art requires so much energy. And I think there's always this kind of like balance that we're striving for, trying to find. And I have just found that, in addition to these incredible art educators inspiring my teaching practice, I'm like personally and creatively feeling so motivated right now. So I've spent the last couple of weeks just starting to work on portraits and painting portraits and just having fun, because I'm like, why not it's teaching me, I think, to explore and open myself up, because, every day when I'm on the Instagram or on our Facebook group, I'm seeing work by so many different artists, and it's really fostering this sense of just experimentation within me and just really wanting to get back to that place of like exploring.
Well, and you're giving that gift to everyone else too, so it's not just for you. You're generous enough to share it with others, and I think that's really awesome. So I'm going to keep following Visionary Art Collective, certainly into the future. And will you share the handle again?
Absolutely. It's Visionary Art Collective, and all of those words are connected. So. And I can actually write it in the chat if that's helpful too.
Yes, you can write that in the chat. And this, at the end in the description, I'll go ahead and put where you can find Visionary Art Collective, where you can find Victoria and her amazing work. She's a beautiful abstract artist as well. And also, I'll link the Facebook group, and I'm going to join that as well. And it was such a fun conversation, Victoria. I love the work that you are doing and inspiring with art teachers and artists, and really seeing that connection that obviously art teachers and contemporary art should be holding hands all the time. So thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad it worked too. Oh my goodness. Yay! Thank you. The Instagram fairies were on our side this time. And I really look forward to hopefully keeping in touch. And everyone on Instagram, you can catch this again on Instagram Live for the next 24 hours. And then it will also be on our Facebook, AOEU's Facebook, as well as our YouTube. So thank you so much, Victoria, for joining us. Next week, Sarah Krajewski, writer an AOU contributor, is going to be hosting the Instagram live chat and having a contemporary artist. Her name is Francesca Levy, and excited to hear that conversation Monday at 4 p.m. Central. So Victoria, thank you for joining us, and keep up the awesome work and being inspired in 2021.
Thank you so much, Megan. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope to stay in touch for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks.